So the question I've received is, how do I hit one of those super flop shots? Okay, so what I'm going to do is just kind of talk you through how I do that. What we need in order to get that golf ball to just shoot straight up in the air is a lot of speed and a glancing blow to the ball. All right, by that I mean that golf ball doesn't really get struck by really any solid piece of the face. The club just slips underneath it. All right, just picture one of those deals where you get a table with a tablecloth and you got the glass of water on it and you yank that tablecloth out from underneath and the glass is just sitting there. That speed that you move that tablecloth on was so fast that really the resistance of that glass and the table couldn't move the glass. It just pulls it out from underneath it. So in order to get that ball to flop straight up in the air, that's what you need to be able to do with the club. Is picture taking that club and just wham, just kind of slipping it right up underneath that golf ball. Well, as you can tell, there's two things that need to happen. You need to have a lot of speed. You need to get very, very little contact or resistance on that club face. And you need to really open that club face to achieve that, right? So a lot of times players will hit that flop shot right off the toe. Okay, so if you picture, here's the ball sitting right here on the grass. And then what I've got to do is I've got to get that club right up underneath here, right? So one of the thinner parts of the wedge, especially the grind on it, is right here on the toe, right there, and the other one is on the heel. So you have a couple of options. You can try to slip the toe on the corner underneath the ball, or you can slip the heel underneath there. What happens a lot of times if you try to slip that heel underneath there is this bounce will activate. You'll run into the turf, and then what will happen is you'll try to slide it underneath, but this skidding plate on the bottom of the club, which is called the bounce or the sole of the club, it's not going to continue to dig underneath that surface. It's going to kind of bounce. That's why it's called bounce. It's going to ricochet up and it's going to hit that ball up and forward instead of glancing blow sliding up underneath. So I'll show you how to do this. I'll just hit a couple and you'll be able to see it. If I open up that club face dramatically, first of all, you got to have a good lie. Right? You don't want to be trying to hit it out of a divot. But if I open up the club face and then try to slide that club up underneath, that's a really high flop shot. Right? Didn't go very far. The club is basically sitting on the ground. I've taken a very, very neutral grip. This way my wrists can be soft and have a nice hinge to that. This is just standard overseeded ryegrass or overseeded Bermuda with ryegrass. Now what you can tell by what's happening here on the club face is you can see a little bit of a grass stain right here on the club face. Well, that's because that's kind of where a little bit of that grass is getting squished from the ball. So if I'm opening up that club face, laying it on its back, and then sliding it up underneath, this is how you achieve that flop shot. So if I want to put a bigger swing on it and flop it up even further, it'll just go higher with more speed. Right? It goes a little bit further, but it doesn't go a whole lot further. It just goes more up in the air. So when you lay that club face open and take a great big huge swing at it, what's happening is I'm basically striking that golf ball at 90 degrees of loft. And with this club, probably that last one was close to 70 to 80 mile an hour club head speed. It's just like I would do a full swing iron shot. So if you open up the club face and you create that much speed with that much open face, you're doing that effective yanking of the tablecloth out from underneath that glass of water. And these are not going to go anywhere. They're landing on the fairway, but if they land on the green, they're not going anywhere either, right? So as you can see here, right here on the club face, if I get in really close, there's actually a little bit of a kind of a scrape mark in this direction. That's the golf ball ripping up the club face and sliding across there. So hopefully that helps to explain how to hit that super flop shot. I'm telling you, you got to have some guts to be able to pull that off on the golf course, and you got to trust that you know what you're doing, because at 80 miles an hour with that club head, if you happen to blade it, it's not stopping right here where you're trying to hit it. It might go 150 yards. So anyway, that's how you hit the super flop shot, and hopefully it will help you next time you're out on the golf course, or if you're just performing in your trick shot show. Here. All right, but what you'll see is it kind of comes off and it falls to the right.